Hey Chris. So we're back here again with Lab04, and this one is counting in binary using a potentiometer. And all the potentiometer really does is just divides the current, the voltage, and using the analog reader, we can actually measure that reading and map it out in a way that we can use to control other devices on the board. So I'll give you a quick little look at the code. So you see here, you'll see here. So by simply reading pin A0 in the analog section of the board over here, we can then use the map function to set out a range, I guess, which would be -4 to +4, and use that as our increment just by simply spinning this knob. So let's go back over to the serial screen, and you'll see here right now my potentiometer is set to 0. So that's why nothing's lit up and nothing's incrementing. So I'll turn my auto scroll back on here so we can get to the bottom. And let's try it out. So we'll go positive first, spinning to the right. Cranked her up pretty quick. And this thing's really touchy. I actually wire snip the pins in order to get it to seat inside the breadboard properly. So you might notice my jumps in increment might be a little bit off, but I'll try to get it to display the best I can. So we'll start coming back down through slowly. There we go, coming down now. And it's all in the way, basically it's all in the pressure that I put on it. Yeah, so we're back at 0. And the 0 is similar to the previous lab, as if I was pushing the button. You see all my lighting? I'm froze up right now at a total of 37. So that's counter 16.2, which is this orange light, and 2 of my red LEDs, which makes counter 1 is 5. So total 37. So let's try the negative out here. -1. And you'll see we're counting down through. Once it gets to 0, the counter 1 resets to 15. And that will control the counter 16 as well. Once we get to a total of 16, counter 16 will go to 0, like it just did. And then I'll let it get all the way down to 0, just so you can see the rollover back to 63 at an increment of -1. And then I'll crank her up a bit, or crank her down, I guess I should say. -2, and it's jumping downwards through 2, or by 2. Crank her down some more. -3. Now decrementing by 3. And then finally 4. So we'll just let it go through the lighting a bit here. Be a feel for how it's counting in binary backwards at an increment of -4. And then I'll crank her back up again. So -3, -2, -1, 0, everything's frozen. 1, 4. And I'll show you really quickly just how I come up with the code for how to handle the negative rollover. And some might think it's a little bit tricky, but as long as you understand that you can't subtract a negative by a negative, you should be alright. So you'll see here that I simply just add my max your counter 1 to what the counter actually is at this point in time, and that handles everything perfectly. So it just comes back up to here and then just treats it as it's an addition, and it will always keep your value positive so you don't get into the negatives, essentially re-rolling everything. And that's it. Thank you.